Evil child, the demon within. They said our son was special from the day he was born, but I never understood what they meant, following them with silent fascination, while laughing at something invisible near the nursery door. As a baby, Owen never cried. He only stared, wide-eyed, at shadows in the corners. He spoke his first words at 7 months. Don't let them in. But every time we raised our voice, lights flickered and doors slammed without warning, whispering concerns about his coldness, his tendency to smile at children crying in the playground. By his second birthday, Owen's drawings filled the walls' twisted faces, clawed hands, and a stick family standing over an open pit. We tried to discipline him. We found a tiny paw print in Owen's closet. But I started to keep the bedroom door locked at night, traced in red crayon. His teachers called us one night our family cat vanished, refusing to play with her brother, claiming he spoke with the dark man, clutching his ragged black teddy bear, hands stained with earth, grinning at the moon. But none stayed long. Every cross or charm tarnished to black within hours. One morning, he simply vanished, a trail of scorched paw prints leading to the basement door, ending each night in Owen's room, curled at his feet. Strange sounds echoed through the house, whispers and footsteps in empty rooms, while Owen slept peacefully. She lasted 2 days before fleeing in tears, muttering prayers and refusing to explain what she'd seen. A family dinner surrounded by flickering flames and smiling, fanged children. But the boards warped and splintered, as if something inside was pushing out, saying Owen's friends watched her from the cracks in her walls, whispering secrets only the dead should know. But our car spun out on the drive, engine dead, and a priest left holy water at the door with a shaking hand. Owen watching with an eerie, knowing smile. Soon, soon, we'll all be together. And the air thickened with the coppery scent of blood, though no source was found. They're coming, and you'll never be alone again, answered by guttural, animalistic growls from below. Hands reaching from the shadows, but found herself circling the house endlessly, never reaching the road. As a bitter cold swept through the house, the sheets soaked in cold sweat, his pillow dented as if a child's head lay beside him, the walls whispering with voices I'd never heard before, always ending at Owen's window. But their radios died at the driveway. You'll all join me in the dark. And each time they entered, Owen greeted them by name, who held a bloody crown in his tiny hand. Save Lucy, save yourself. Owen's reflection moving when he stood perfectly still, swirling and forming faces, friends for Owen, enemies for everyone else. Will you play with us too, Mommy? Our daughter Lucy, older by 3 years, became withdrawn before calmly announcing, Grandpa will visit soon. Locking on their own, trapping us inside. The clock spun wildly, time losing all meaning as night never ended, ending in a gurgle and the softest, cruelest laughter from Owen's room. My husband shrugged it off, calling it a phase. She wept in her sleep, calling for help nobody could give. When I checked the family album, his page was torn out. We hired a nanny. Every door and window swinging open as icy wind rushed through the house, as if made by something with claws instead of fingers. Crashing down with unseen hands as the floorboards split, revealing glimpses of writhing things beneath the house. That's when Owen's eyes began to change, one green, the other turning a deep, unnatural black every night at dusk. Hallways stretching into black tunnels with Owen always at the end. I found scratch marks on the nursery floor, long and deep. At dinner, Owen stared into his soup, whispering names we didn't recognize. My father died 10 years before Owen was born. Lucy refused to sleep in her own room. Windows rattling as Owen sat at the dining table, eyes glowing red. At 3:00 a.m., our alarm blared. Owen was found in the yard, barefoot in the frost. Priests, therapists, and doctors visited. The dog howled at Owen's approach. Lucy started sleepwalking, chanting nursery rhymes in a voice that wasn't hers. Our houseplants wilted, Food spoiled in hours. Owen's drawings grew darker shadowed figures with burning eyes. One night, we heard chanting from the basement, Owen's voice rising and falling. When we confronted him, he just smiled and asked. We boarded up the basement. My husband grew gaunt, sleepless, plagued by nightmares of Owen standing over us. I began seeing things, two faces in the mirrors. Lucy drew a picture of our family, everyone headless except Owen. We tried to leave, neighbors stopped visiting. Animals avoided our yard. My phone filled with voicemails and static, the only clear words, "He's not your son. He's waiting for the night." Owen began counting down the days, marking each morning with a red X, chanting. On the 7th night, thunder cracked without rain. He spoke with two voices, one his, one deeper, older, promising. Shadows moved along the walls, stretching into impossible shapes, sometimes pausing to smile with rows of sharp, white teeth. I called the police. Lucy tried to run. Our lights exploded, glass flying. My husband vanished from our bed. Owen drew a new picture, a family portrait with only one face, his. Horns curling from his brow, flame behind his eyes. We tried a priest one last time, but as he blessed the house, Owen laughed and the holy water boiled in its bowl. Lucy grew weaker, her hair turning white overnight, eyes hollow. She wept in her sleep, calling for help nobody could give. Doors slammed shut, locking on their own, trapping us inside. "You'll all join me in the dark?" The clock spun wildly, time losing all meaning as night never ended. Owen's voice boomed through the halls, promising, "Tonight's the night." Shadows pooled in the corners, swirling and forming faces, friends for Owen, enemies for everyone else. Furniture floated, crashing down with unseen hands as the floorboards split, revealing glimpses of writhing things beneath the house. Save Lucy, save yourself. Ending in a gurgle and the softest, cruelest laughter from Owen's room. My husband's voice whispered from the walls, "Don't trust him. He's not what he seems." Lucy vanished next, her scream echoing through the vents. I ran, clawing at doors and windows, but the house twisted, hallways stretching into black tunnels with Owen always at the end. He called for me, voice sweet, "Come tuck me in, Mommy. Come say goodnight forever." I found Lucy's shoes outside Owen's door, red and sticky, a trail of footprints leading inside. Owen sat on the bed, eyes black as midnight, shadowy arms wrapped around him, fangs glinting where baby teeth had been. Before lunging, teeth sinking into my arm, fire racing through my veins. My flesh burning, Owen's laughter merging with the voices of all he'd consumed. The last thing I saw was Owen's grinning face, eyes burning with triumph and hatred. He beckoned me closer, and the walls bled with every step I took, the floor shaking as he began to chant. The world above gone, replaced by endless night and the echo of my son's voice. The room filled with smoke and sulfur, the ceiling splitting open to reveal a sky churning with claws and burning eyes. Owen stood, now tall and gaunt, his skin cracking to reveal scales, horns piercing the flesh above his brow. My will drained by the demon's terrible power, dragging us all into the pit Owen had drawn 100 times before. A son who's never truly mine, just a mask for something ancient. Neighbors whispering that the family simply disappeared one stormy night. A warning to all, never ignore the darkness within a child, never let evil fester unchecked. Though sometimes lights flickered in the windows and laughter rang out when the moon was darkest, never to return. He whispered, "You could have loved me better, Mother." I screamed as shadows pinned me to the floor. Memories flashed before my eyes, birthdays, bedtime stories, but stories grew, children missing. Animals found gutted, whenever darkness finds a child whose smile is just a little too sharp. Always after a night of thunder and fire. The house crumbled around us, floor collapsing, darkness swallowed everything. Silence followed, a peace more terrifying than screams. In the pit, the family gathered, transformed skin gray, eyes hollow, all chanting in a tongue that only demons remember. Owen crowned himself with bones, declaring, "The family is together, the family is whole, the feast begins." I tried to fight, but my body was not my own. Shadows danced as Owen led us in a cruel parade, every step echoing the loss of love and hope. Outside, the house stood empty, silent. No one dared enter. Years passed, the house rotted. Owen's legend lived on. Still, sometimes, a passerby swears they see a boy with black eyes waving from the window, beckoning them to come inside. In the basement, the pit remains, covered in dust, but late at night it pulses, waiting for the next family to arrive. The family's whispers fill the house. "We are here. We are hungry. We are waiting for you." If you listen at midnight, you might hear Owen's song soft, sweet, and promising you'll never be alone again. And so the story ends, or maybe begins again. Never forget. The demon within wears the sweetest face, and the family who ignores the warnings may vanish without a trace.